Steve Young here on the Rich Eisen Show. You just mentioned about the difference with Lamar Jackson now entering the chat in this AFC Championship game. The first that Baltimore is hosting since 1970 when the Colts did it. That's how long ago the folks in Baltimore have seen an AFC Championship game. The Ravens have only been on the road for an AFC Championship game in their existence. So what are you seeing from Lamar that's different, Steve?
So I think it's more what the Ravens had decided to do. They had been the most sophisticated running game in history and were mauling the rank and file people in the NFL and getting to the playoffs and then running into a wall, because you cannot have the most sophisticated running game in history and go win Super Bowls. It just doesn't get done that way. And so that's what happened over and over again. It was like insanity. Like, are we going to keep doing this? And they kept leaning into what Lamar is great at. What he's great at is that quickness and that ability to make people miss. It's uncanny. And but what I was saying is you cannot get to a Super Bowl unless you develop into a sophisticated passer of the football. That's how you get there. You put the Superman cape on like these other guys, but you have to have this other part of your game. And they fundamentally didn't train that and weren't leaning into it. They didn't have the talent and wide receiver. They hadn't had the philosophy from the offensive coordinator. They didn't have all the way down from the owner. You have to decide who you're going to be. And the Ravens were bully defense and smash you in the face offense, and just wasn't going to get it done. So they fired the coach. They got new talent at wide receiver, and they fundamentally said, we're going to throw the football. We're going to develop Lamar into a sophisticated passer so he can join the conversation with Lamar, with Patrick, with Josh, with Joe, with others. And I think that it's been a work in progress this whole season. But I really tip my cap to Lamar, because he just craves what I just talked about. He craves to be that guy. And there might be some shortcomings as he develops. But right now, he looks exactly what I described 3 years ago, what he could be, as a guy that's unbeatable because he can do it all.
Yeah, first player in NFL history with 2 or more passing touchdowns, 2 or more rushing touchdowns, 100 on the ground, on 100 in passer rating in any game. Nobody's ever done that, and that's what Lamar just did to the Texans. Steve.
And I say this before, in years past, before they made the rule changes for safety and changed the game and made it more wide open,
right? And
that's what's happened for offenses. You used to be able to get a killer defense like the Ravens had with Ray Lewis and go win a Super Bowl. Those days are over. You can't just pack the best defense in the league and do it, because these guys are waiting for you and they're going to beat you no matter how good you are. But now you have one of those guys, and you have one of the great bully defenses that looks like they could, kind of aid that. It makes them, I guess I'm influenced by what I watched on Christmas Day when they played the 49ers here at home. Well, how much I think about the 49ers and how good they are and how stacked and packed they are with talent, like unprecedented, once-in-a-generation talent that's been collected in free agency. It's been amazing by John Lynch. They just mauled them. And I think that's what I was just like, wow, this is something different.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.